Hey, Rod, Uncle Rod, man, thank you for coming here today. Well, it's a pleasure to have you, man. I tell this story, and it sounds like I'm joking, and I'm just happy to celebrate these lives. And I think citizens, if you got people who play pivotal parts in your transformation that you remember, they may not even know how much they impacted you. Mm-hmm. You know, I always remind him how much he impacted us, you know, because you used to wear business attire when we were younger, right?
In the house?
Yeah. Yes. Right?
No, we came into the house with business side. We worked for corporate America. Well, I worked for corporate America.
Yeah.
Pacific Bell, and then we come in dressed like that.
And we're talking 80s, right? Like the 80s.
Yes.
And so you can imagine how influential it was for us. What did you do for Pacific Bell?
We were part of the Pacific Bell was sued for not having enough diversity. And we were the first wave of black managers that Pacific Bell was ordered to hire in their consent decree. And they didn't want us there. Wow. But we showed them not only did we belong there, we were better than most of the people they had there.
Uncle Rod, how did they show that your presence was a disgust to them?
By the jobs they gave us as managers. They usually gave us jobs that everybody else had failed at or didn't want. And they said, we have an opportunity for you. Can you take this job? If you can't do it, then you're no better than anybody else. And most of those jobs we excelled at.
What did excelled at look like? What did you yield? Like, how did you improve their business?
As an example, MCI was suing all the Bell companies all over the country. Their legal department was actually a profit and loss center. They made more money from suing the Bell companies than they did actually providing telecommunications. So I was given the job of being their account manager.
Wow. Very adversarial.
Yeah, it's like, hey, can you handle MCI? Nobody else. First thing I did was take them to a Warriors game.
You hear that, Heather? You see how the Warriors work? It's not just a basketball team.
Right.
It's the lifestyle.
Okay.
Took them to a Warriors game. Had them eat Al Addles for dinner. After that, we were cool.
It's called a smooth out.
Yeah, Pacific Bell was the first company that they stopped suing.
Wow.
And, yes, and then after that job, they kept providing more and more. And whatever job I had, when I left that job, they usually put 2 or 3 people to do the job I was doing.
Did.
You better flex on them.
Come on, that's Uncle Rod, y'all. Y'all better stop playing with me. You eventually was Frank a part of that too at that time?
Frank and Ernest Boykin. Yes.
Okay, Ernest Boykin, Dr. What's Ernest nickname? Or was it just Ernest Boykin? Ernie
Boykin.
Frank Tucker.
And
Dr. J.
Dr. J. Frank Marty. Rest in power, who became one of the most reputable sports reporters of all time.
Yes, he did.
Yes, indeed.
And I remember when he was sleeping on my couch.
Yes. They all used to sleep on your couch.
That's true.
Wow, these are your cousins, Sway?
These are his peer groups.
Oh,
they were like
okay.
my uncles.
Got it. Your crew.
My crew. You and Frank, you guys started another company, right?
Well, he started, he retired. Well, he left Pacific Bell first, and he started his own company, F2, and then became Tucker Technology. And then when I retired, I actually worked with him when I retired.
Okay, and which Tucker Technology?
Which is now run by his daughter, Conchita Tucker.
Who I used to babysit alongside Chris. Right?
Yes.
Passing the baton. We just spoke about this.
Did y'all work in fiber optics at that time?
We were doing the same telecommunications work that we were doing for Pacific Bell, except now we were hiring the people to work on the jobs.
Okay. Now, I'm just giving you an idea of when you are exposed to certain people and certain things, how it can affect you. And so having seen him as a young man walk in the house with a business suit and a briefcase, and they worked hard. But citizens, I am here to tell you, I've never seen people work as hard as them, and I've never to this day seen people party as hard as they did. I made my fortune as a youth babysitting their kids.
Wow.
And so Rod went on, also was influential in our track club that we had, our AAU track team, and he was one of the fathers that would come out. A lot of kids didn't have fathers in the house.
Yeah.
And a lot of these guys became bonus dads for us. And then Rod, kind of introduced how to be more sincere and debonair and forward-thinking when you talk to, women in relationships.
We made it.
This the part I'm here for.
Yes.
I was waiting for all of the stuff to.
I wanted to set him up right first. I don't want to just throw him out there.
Right.
Let you know this man is a man of substance.
Right.
But I never thought about that sort of thing till he started making fun of us about not talking to girls and stuff. Was that a method for you to teach us how to socialize better, or were you just making fun of us back then?
Oh no, you guys were when we were at the 1980 track club. I remember we went on this trip and everybody was talking about, oh, this is terrible, and they kept talking about, oh, what's wrong? And I got all of the troublemakers.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So as opposed to everybody else had age groups, I had the full range of age groups. But, they're mainly junior high school, and they're like used to terrorizing all the other coaches.
Wow.
So the first night we're in there, they get up and they're talking about how pretty their feet look.
Oh.
Oh, we got pretty feet.
What?
Pretty feet.
That's why you always throw your socks around?
Right.
So you can stay at your twinkle toes?
Right.
I know them feet ain't pretty.
They were.
Right. So that's how the story goes. So then I take my shoes off and they're like, oh, look at your feet. They're horrible. Look at your toes. And all I said was, well, this is what happens when you have sex.
Oh.
This is how you can tell who by their toes. And next thing you know, at the meet, they're running around telling everybody how ugly their feet are. And the other coaches and the field, why do you want to have ugly feet? Oh, no, you got to understand. Yeah, my toes are ugly. That's all they kept saying for the rest of their life, were how ugly their toes were.
I'm dying.
To this day.
Right, to this day.
Wow, is this the origin story of the Octagon, Calloway?
Absolutely.
You want to update Uncle
All my
Ron
personal
on that?
relationships, or somehow he has something to do with it. That is true. That is true. This is true. Okay. Damn.
And then I had no more problems. They said, teach us more. Teach me more.
Oh,
Right.
that was right.
But you handled yourself with a certain amount of sophistication that I appreciated. I think we all appreciated, and it gave us a lot of confidence. We weren't seeing. It's not like we didn't see a bunch of black men at that time, but what he's talking about in corporate America, coming in to pack bail and being a mediator for adversarial relationships, and then also creating systems that help their quarterlies grow, and we weren't seeing that, and even if it was happening, it wasn't being reported. But we had firsthand experience, so it let me know when I start going into corporate America early how to conduct myself, because the way he is now is the way he was then. So actually, probably one might think had a little arrogance about him. Did you get that a lot?
No.
Okay.
No, we knew why they brought us in, and we knew that they were trying to do everything they can to say, well, we tried it and it didn't work. So that's why they gave us the jobs that nobody else worked. They originally set us up, we had Media Rec. So we had all the TV stations, all the radio stations. We had all the sports teams. And they thought if we keep you out in the public and the public can see you, they can see how bad you guys are doing, and that'll help us. We end up making Media Rec the #1 group in all of Pacific Bell.
Wow.
This is where I thought I had died and gone to heaven when they told me, you have to work the Raider games on the weekends. I said, what? Yeah, you have to make sure all the phones are working throughout the stadium. I said, including the locker room. So you can go anywhere that the Raiders go. And I actually became personal friends with a lot of the Raiders.
Name some. Go ahead and stunt. Name some.
Wow.
Come on.
Lindsay.
Yeah, Lindsay, Jack Tatum.
Shit. Lester Hayes. Did you know Lester?
Lester Hayes, yes.
Geez. Kenny King. Kenny King.
No, I don't know.
No, Kenny King. Okay. Lindsay. What was Lindsay's last name?
Taylor.
Lindsay Taylor.
Nice.
Yeah. Right. He was offensive lineman.
Yes, Lindsay Taylor, man. Boy, oh boy, man. We got Cedric on the line. You got a question for my Uncle
What
Rod?
up, Ced?
Go ahead, brother. He's in New Orleans.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning.
Yes. What's up, brother?
Uncle Rod, I got a quick question. What was it like raising Sway, and like how, like, what is there like any type of like books or anything that you gave him for like knowledge? Because I have an 8-year-old and a 7-year-old, and I'm trying to teach them about like lying and stuff like that. I showed them like the Emmett Till story and stuff like that, and how it could affect people. Like, what are some tips you can give on like raising somebody? Because I think you did an amazing job with like helping raise.
Thank you, Sid. I appreciate you, Sid. Hey, yo, Sid a prize pack.
And we ain't got none.
It's over for that.
No, my bad.
You keep giving them those books and keep talking with them about those books. They may not act like at this point they know or care about it, but you've put the seed in their mind that later on in life they'll say, "Oh, wow." My son, I used to make him listen to a lot of Santana when I was growing up. And he was like, "Oh, I hate Santana. No, this is boring." And then when he got older, he said, when I guess Santana won his first Grammy.
Yep.
Oh, with
Right.
Lauryn Hill.
Lauryn Hill and all those. That's not real Santana. He met one of his first girls doing that, saying, "Oh, no, let me tell you what real Santana sounds like." And
I played Blues for Salvador.
Blues for Salvador, which is, unless you're a Santana fan, and the young lady was so impressed that he knew that. He was like, "Yeah, my dad taught me that. Yeah, the music you listen to that you like today, your children will appreciate them later."
That's true.
What was
So
the
let
song again?
Blues for Salvador by
Blues
Santana.
for Salvador.
That was the album, and then you had Caravanserai.
Right, those two albums.
Wow. See,
right,
Chris
I'll
still
listen to
talking.
that.
He's still
Appreciate that.
he's
Top
still
five,
impacted.
Top 5.
All right. Is you good with that, Sid?
Yeah, I'm good with that. Appreciate that, man. Thank y'all for letting me through.
Yeah,
For real.
man. Yeah.
Thank y'all.
You know, Uncle Rod, a lot of times the elders have a hunch of what the youngins are going to be, right, career-wise, when they grow up. So, obviously, I want to know, did you see any of this entertainment industry, Sway becoming an artist, being in front of so many different types of microphones, or is this a surprise?
Oh, no, it's not a surprise. He was a very arrogant young man.
Okay.
Really?
Oh no, they thought they knew everything. you
Yeah,
know.
Uncle Rod, talk to us.
Me has to be.
This is where I come in. Go ahead, Uncle Rod.
And so our job was to smack them down periodically.
The humility.
So about when they were 13, 14, we had an annual Thanksgiving basketball game, and they would come out and play. And football game, and they'd run their plays. And at this point, we're like 28, 29. We're still, kind of prime.
Yeah.
And we would just whoop them. And every year they thought they would get better and better. Well, when they turned 21.
Was it 21?
Yeah, 1921.
Okay.
Right, 1921.
Okay.
They come to play us some basketball.
Uh-huh.
They're throwing alley-oops and they're doing dunks. And
Right.
like trying to intimidate us. We're like, are you kidding me? All right, let's play. They do their first come down the court. They throw up the alley-oop. And I just grab them around the waist and walk them out to the foul line and say, foul. If you think you're going to come and just dunk, we're in the park. There ain't no limit to fouls. Nobody fouls out. Let's play the game.
Right.
They got so frustrated they lost to us.
Aw.
Boy, that story changed. That goalpost move every year,
Oh.
boy. And the day he's talking about is cousin Chuck and T. Calloway.
Oh, yeah. We making T. Cows
It
today.
was me, Chuck, and T. And boy, we was coming to embarrass them.
I love these
Right.
stories.
Yeah.
Did you see how music was starting to really influence his life?
Oh, he had been writing music. What were you saying? You were writing it in the middle of the night, under the covers.
Under the
It
covers,
was in
yeah.
the dark. Yeah, he was been writing.
Yeah. I think yeah, man, that whole time I think the arrogance though was we were always in a competitive
Yes.
environment. Like it was competitive in the Calloway house for food. It was, he wanted to be first. Everything was competitive. So running track, it does nothing but promote competition.
Right.
Healthy competition, right? And so as young men, I think we got our footing by winning so much.
Right.
And gave us that confidence. But it was
we traveled all over the country, and they had and we built that arrogance. Like if you go in with this attitude that I'm good, no matter what anybody else won, what anybody else said, you have to think that you're good when you go in.
That makes sense.
And they've all carried that throughout their life.
This also is really making me understand why you're such a sore loser.
Oh yeah.
Ah,
Wham, wham, wham.
I get it.
I'm
now.
little baby.
That ain't in my vocabulary, Tracy.
Right.
My body doesn't digest losing.
Right, because you already decided you had won.
It ain't no cold in losing. Nah. But it definitely, I realized a lot of that confidence was necessary, especially in the business world.
Yeah.
Because as a teenager, I started having some really big meetings in industry, in record business, sitting with heads of companies and discussing these contracts. And at that time, I was like, I got it. I can figure this out, and a lot of it came with that time period that he was there. I got his son with us right now, too, cousin Chris. We're going to come back and talk with cousin Chris. You guys, Chris, what was it like being babysitted by me? 888-742-3345.
Chris never got fed.
It was tough times.
Sway was eating all the rap snacks. The fruit roll-ups, killing
It
them.
was peeing everywhere.
You know what this is, Chris?
Yeah, this is on the Blues for Salvador album. It's called Santana.
Turn that up. Sway in the morning. Heather B, Tracy G, Uncle Rod, cousin Chris, and the whole gang. 888-742-3345. Shay 45, Sway in the morning. Billy Talk, Tracy G. I got my Uncle Rod in here having some great conversations and just talking about the importance and the impact how people influence your life. You never do it on your own. I don't care who you are, what you've accomplished, how far you've gone. None of us have done it on our own. And I like to acknowledge those people who played instrumental parts in my evolution as a man. And so Uncle Rod is here. You see how he's sitting, Heather. He still got that arrogance thing. He won't admit to.
I like Uncle Rod.
Hey, man, what do you think about these banks closing down right now? Have you been read up on that?
Just the Silicon Valley Bank closed down, but they're going to get propped up by billionaires anyway because there's too much. They have too much money going through that bank.
So propped up meaning they're going to get a relief plan?
Well, they are currently pushing on Biden to give them a bailout. When they get a bailout, it's a bailout. The regular people, it's social welfare.
Yeah.
But they're getting the same thing.
Yeah. So it's social welfare when the country bail out the automotive industry, when the country bails out this bank.
Right.
That's the same thing.
Right. But they put them on the little people. Oh, you're stealing. Oh, you're this. Where they're giving all that money to the big banks and stuff. This is the same process.
Do you foresee more of it, and do you think this country is headed to, I'm just going off the cuff right here, to change the banking system altogether where the currency won't even be the same, where there'll be a new currency introduced, which will really change things around? And I'm just going off the cuff here. Reel me in, Uncle Rod. What are your thoughts?
not unless the powers that be, the bigger banks and stuff, allow it. If they see a profit in it, then they will do that. If they see no profit for them coming through this, then they're not going to change anything because they're controlling the money flow now throughout the world. So unless the money flow becomes better for them, changing currency, changing to crypto, the rest of that stuff, and not using coins, and they can track it the way they want, I don't see that anytime within the next 50, 60 years.
Okay. All right. How do you feel about the progression of the black community in the time from when you first started working in corporate America to now? We know the wealth gap is
going backwards.
It's going backwards.
Yeah, it's gone backwards as far as I see. And I guess it's the time period. So growing up in New York and looking, I was watching Godfather of Harlem, 1964. All that was going on in New York is what I'm growing up to, and you got Malcolm X, you got Adam Clayton Powell, you have all of these things going on, Black Panthers all going on, and we're watching and growing and being a part of that. The rest of the country was not part of that. There were parts of Texas and parts of other places. They don't have that understanding. So when you go before corporate America, for instance, or you go forward, you're used to having a certain arrogance when you go, look, I am what I want, and this is what I want. And they're used to beating you down and intimidating you out of it. And most places I see, people get comfortable, and then, they're just comfortable, so they don't want to do anything to become uncomfortable.
Yeah, so they let it ride.
Especially the middle class and the rest of that. They've made their money. They're like, okay, this is good. I've seen people in politics that were going to fight and do this, and once they get in, their answer is, well, I just got to get reelected again.
Right.
And so all the processes that we need to have happening for us, people aren't doing. They say they're going to do it to get in, and then once they get in, their whole job is to maintain getting reelected. And so they're not pushing the programs that need to be pushed.
Sound like Mike Muse.
Word. Uncle Rod, let's touch on hip hop a bit.
Okay.
I feel like every stage of hip hop, there's always a generation, I think, beneath that has some criticism, that remembers hip hop at a different time. And I think you're in such an interesting position where you remember life before the presence of hip hop at all, the birth. What did you think when you first started hearing this boom bap, when you first started seeing like how it was shaping Sway? Like, did you welcome it with open arms? Did it come as a bit strange to you? Did you look at it as a trend?
All the above. Because that was the same thing they said about our music.
Right.
When we were listening to rhythm and blues, and we were listening to Santana, and those music, they were like, oh, that's horrible. You can't do it. Then their music started, but you could still dance to it. As a matter of fact, I remember when they were younger, and I was like, nobody wants to hear that music. That's not music that you're going to hear later on in life and be partying to. But, that's what you like. And then, I guess maybe about 2 years ago, I put on hip-hop from the 90s, and I partied all day because I then realized that was the music in the clubs when I was starting.
When I was babysitting.
Right. And I was like,
full circle.
I was like,
another one.
Let me apologize to you. I've just spent 6 hours listening to hip hop of the 90s, saying, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that was good.
Wow.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Who were some of your favorites, like artists?
Oh, my favorite artist, Tupac.
Come on, get out of round.
That's my favorite.
Wow, that's dope.
And there's a one time when I went to Europe one year, I went to see a group, an old black blues group, and they were playing. They were great. They got 7 standing ovations. So I said, wow, do y'all ever come play in the United? It was called the Chicago Blues Band.
Okay.
I said, well, when do y'all play in the United States? They said, never. I said, why? They said, because if we played in the United States, we'd be at some dive and no one would be appreciative. Here, they appreciate you as an artist, just as a regular music artist, as a painter, anything. They said, we appreciate our artists. So the guy asked, so one of the people in the audience said, who was your favorite group? And that time I was saying Earth, Wind, and Fire, Stevie Wonder. And he said, do you have every album they ever made? I said, no, I just have the albums I like. Then they said, you are not true fan of that artist. Because he says, if you get a Van Gogh, do you throw away some Van Goghs? You try to collect them all because that way you watch the artist's evolution. And if you are a true fan, you go through this whole, understand their whole journey through their music. And I said, wow, I guess I need to become a star. That is what fooled Chaka Khan. Chaka Khan at one point decided she wanted to do jazz. And in Europe, because she's Chaka Khan and she has her fans, they would give up 7 standing ovations. And she was like, oh, I guess they like it. I remember going to her first concert when she came to the United States and did Chaka Khan. They booed her. They wanted, I'm every woman. They want to hear the sound.
Oh, they didn't want to hear the jazz.
They did not want to hear her jazz. And she was like, what? I was just in Europe, because most artists try their music out in Europe because of the different appreciation for the music. And they say, okay, we try this, they liked it. When we come to the States, we're going to do the same thing. And the States were like, nah, we want to hear what we want to hear.
Wow.
What part of Europe were you in?
At that point, we were in Paris.
And then where was that first Chaka Khan concert? What city was that in that you went to?
In Oakland.
You better talk. You know. So Uncle Rod's son here is Big Chris. Chris, what's up, man? Chris is here.
What's up? Yeah, because I feel like, Sway, you've been avoiding this whole babysitter situation. Like,
Right.
I made it was only so much time left. You know what I'm saying?
Because he been sharing a little stuff off mic on the side.
I know we may need to tap into some of this trauma. Maybe having a moment here.
What was it like though? Like, because I know how your father and his peer group bullied us. What was it like for you growing up? Like with us, around me, Terry, Chuck, Quasi, everybody.
See, it was home cooked fries for breakfast, home cooked fries for lunch, for dinner. If you can make it to the kitchen and the pot in time to grab the hot fries yourself, then you made it. But if not, you got to wait till the next time, which is the next day.
Did you have fun though?
I had a lot of fun. I remember actually one of the strong memories I have is you guys were babysitting me, of course. You, Cousin Terry, Cousin Chuck, and somebody called y'all on a rotary. That's how old we are.
A rotary phone.
Right, yeah.
You got to explain what that is.
Yeah, I forgot.
Somebody must have called you guys and said, hey, we're at the park. And so it's late at night. We all go to some park somewhere in Oakland, and then there's these girls there. And they brought the boom box. I remember everyone out there talking, and I remember either Cousin Terry or you, is probably both of you guys know how to do backflips, forward flips.
Oh yeah, that was Chuck. That was Chuck and Terry.
Chuck, yeah,
Chuck
I always
and
asked him to do backflips. So
yeah.
entertaining at the time, and I remember I was probably like 6 or 5 years old, but. I feel like I snatched one of y'all girls that day. I don't know. I felt like that. I don't know if you guys made me feel like that. I don't know, but I appreciate that.
Young man didn't know what was really going on. It was
training. I appreciate it.
Part of his ignorance as a kid. We were using you to get girls. We weren't. You weren't snatching nothing. You was such.
He was the pawn.
Still to this day, I did not know that.
Yeah, you was such a cute dude. Remember how cute this dude was?
Wow, Sway. What a hater.
Look like Kincaid.
Mad cute.
Yeah. Let me ask you, how many years did you do in the service?
20 years, 6 months, 15 days.
Yep.
Wow.
She remember it like that.
We appreciate
Thank
you,
you.
man, for your service to this country.
Yes.
Thank you. Just don't make me do it again.
No, it's all good. You was in the Navy?
In the Navy, yep.
Wow. Big dogs.
I know you had to do some missions that you can't talk about, right?
Yes.
You could say yes, though.
I'll just say yes to that.
Okay, all right. So you've seen some things you can't discuss.
Yeah.
Okay. President Biden has now opened up Pandora's box. Apparently, he's commented on some of these unidentified flying objects that have been shot down, and I'm not talking about the balloon.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. In your career with the Navy, did you ever see something you couldn't explain in the sky?
Yes. I have. You want me to elaborate on that? I see it's a long pause here. This is a radio station, right? Okay.
We're live around the world, right? Go ahead.
If you just look up, really, if you just look up at the sky, if you're in an area where there's not a lot of light pollution out there, and you just look up, you're bound to see something. And being out there in the Pacific Ocean, the middle of the Indian Ocean, Persian Gulf, whatever, you look up at nighttime, you're gonna see something move. You're gonna see something move in a funny way that you haven't seen it move before. But if you just pay attention, everyone can see it. It's not just because I was in the Navy. I was seeing this on dry land. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's. I think that there's something out there. I mean, if I put a percentage on it, I would say I was 99% sure there is something out there that I can see with my eyes if I just look up.
Oh, okay, but you can't say what that something is. It could be man-made.
I don't. So I'm not that deep into the military Illuminati, so I don't know.
Oh, okay. You don't have clearance.
Level.
You ain't got the clearance.
Yeah. They tell me I got the clearance, but I ain't got the clearance.
What ranking did you reach?
All the way up to senior chief petty officer. I was in IT senior chief. Yeah.
Okay.
So IT, you work around security?
It was some of it involves security. It's crypto security, network communications, radio communications, all that stuff to allow other sailors on the ship to communicate on Facebook, Instagram, and all that while at sea.
Okay. What's the longest you've been out at sea?
Longest at sea was probably 2 months. So probably 60 days, just over 60 days.
On the sea.
What made you go into the military? Like, I'm always wondering. My neighbor's kid just went into the military, and it's so strange because it was almost like punishment for him. Like he was acting up, and his mom literally told him he had to go to the military. But I don't get that from you, like sitting here listening to all the stories. But so, what was your decision?
Well,
It wasn't his decision.
it really life made that decision.
Oh, like my neighbors, the mom next door.
Be careful at the.
Should we bring Rose in on this conversation?
This was even before.
Oh, this is pre-Rose?
This was pre-Rose.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so I think my dad made he brought it up to me in the car one day. And he always used to say, "Nah, don't join the military. I joined the military. I did it already, so you don't have to do it." So, but it was a certain time my life got kind of rough at a time, real short moment. Mm-hmm. And I didn't like how I felt during that moment.
How did you feel?
I feel like, am I going to eat today? Is there home cooked fries for me for breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
You appreciated them fries.
Yeah,
then,
exactly.
Right?
I want to go back to those fries. How hard is this floor going to be? Is it going to be a mattress or going to be a floor? So it had to have some kind of that humbleness to when I actually went to the recruiter and said, "Hey, I need to go now. Today's the day." And they were hyped up about that. And they, back then it was easier to join.
Yeah.
So I think I was able to leave within the week, and boot camp just flew by because I was getting paid, I was having a place to eat, I had some type of purpose.
Yeah.
So I felt motivated by that. But now all that's over. Now just don't make me do it again.
Okay.
I like that story. I don't really remember it that way.
Well, how do
but
you remember it then?
I remember.
Come on, tell it. Your stories are
you-
better than mine.
Right. Well, you went to Hampton
Yes.
first, so
Yeah.
I wanted to.
The
Because
real
I
HU,
had
the
gone
real
to
HU.
Hampton.
You
Oh, in
graduated from
Virginia.
Hampton.
Okay.
The real HU.
Yeah.
The real HU. Oh, is that the Hampton's the real, not Howard?
Right.
Okay.
No,
All right. Okay.
Where's the real?
Okay.
So, and I thought that would be great for him to historically black college. I support those. So I went down for homecoming to visit him. So I go to the freshman dorm, which is James Hall,
You know.
and I ask everybody, "Where's Christopher Stanley?" nobody can tell me where Christopher Stanley is. I'm like, where is Christopher? Come on. So finally I tell Sway, how many people from California do you have here? And they said, oh, California? You mean the California Kid? Yeah, everybody knows the California Kid.
The California Kid?
Wow.
Supposedly, he had taken on the California mantra to tell them, because he said, nobody here except my friends from California. He told them he was in the Bloods, he was in the Crips. He told them he knew Snoop Dogg. He knew every rapper, whatever they wanted, whatever they thought California was. That's what he would be.
The California Kid.
The weed, the weather, the women.
Right, that's it.
The 3 dubs.
So when I first see him, he has on a Jimi Hendrix vest with the frills on it. He has incense burning in his hair.
I gotta be whoever I gotta be for that day.
Right. So that went along for a while, and then he got in trouble at the end, and they said, hey, we will have to put him out. And I said, what? So they wanted me to come down and talk to them about what we could do. So we go to administration, and when he's there, I see 3 people come in, and I had to say, this is not about you. They're not going to let you in because of the sins of the father, because that woman was head of the freshman women's dorm, and I gave her a hard time.
Oh my God! I'm
You were there, yes.
And she's looking at him like, "Oh, this is your son?"
Right. Hey,
okay. All right.
Yo, I thought.
So we put him in a different school. So he's riding around. He's in Montgomery Community College. He gets a Saab as opposed to a regular car.
Saab 900S, 1987.
Balling.
Right. He's
No
up
dashboard.
I told him, don't tell people you're from California because people think everybody from California is rich. Next thing I know, he's telling me, oh, I'm in love. Oh, you're in love? Oh, yeah, Dad, I'm in love. I met her at the Black Bookstore and blah, 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 blah. And I says, oh, okay. I said, what's her name? Venus.
Damn, a government? That's the government name, Dad.
It's only the first.
Wait, hold on. Heather got to go to Urban View.
I'm so mad I'm missing this story right now. Much love to y'all. Follow me at the Happy Hour WHB.
Chris, come sit next to your dad, all right? Okay, thank you, Heather. Heather will be back tomorrow. Shoot out, holla at Heather B at the Happy Hour WHB.
You already know.
So hold up. Okay, so
Venus, huh?
Venus.
At the Black Bookstore.
Okay,
I'm still listening as I'm going.
So I asked him, does she play tennis? And he's like, no. Oh, okay. Well, what does she do? Oh, she's not working right now. She's a masseuse. A masseuse. Is that what she told you? He's like, oh, yeah. I said, no, you don't understand. Yeah. No, I'm in love. No, you went from high school girl to a real woman.
Yeah.
And you think it's love, but that's not what it was. Well, a few months later, they're in a fight, and he's like, I need you to come get me. Okay, so I fly from California to go get him. And he's like, yeah, I'm ready to go back to the house. And I'm telling him, nah, I don't think so. You know, the reason I sent you to the East Coast was because you need to be on your own. You need to grow up. And I've already turned your bedroom into my office.
Oh.
So from this point forward, you can come visit me every 6 months for 2 weeks maximum.
Boundaries.
Right. So
Wow.
there's no coming back, laying on my couch, and the rest of that. So what you need to do, I took him down to the recruiter's office. You need to pick one of these, because if you're going to be dating Venuses, you need to learn how to fight. and that's what he did.
That's such a different story.
Very different.
Get a round of applause for the storyteller right there. My God.
Woo, shout out to the dads.
Let me ask you this, Chris. That was a beautiful story too, by the way. you did meet Rose at some point. How many years down the line did you meet Rose?
Wow. So we met in 2001, right? Just a couple of days after 9/11.
Okay.
Yeah, September 14th.
And how long had you been in the service at that point?
I really just joined.
You just joined. So you have such an amazing family, and the kids are very they're very individual, but you know they seem very solid and well bred, so to speak. Like you got great kids, and they don't seem like, I don't know what goes on behind closed doors, but no one seems like they have. Well, all kids have some hang-ups. I can see Gigi over there is hard on y'all right now. She going through that phase right now. We don't know nothing she knows. I already know.
Right.
She's hip. Gigi, come get on the mic, man. Come on, let's get on the mic. Come on.
Gigi!
I'm gonna put her in this spot.
You want to put her here?
Gigi.
Okay,
Step
okay.
up, boo.
All right. Hey, DB, hook me up real quick, too. Yeah, come over here. Come over here. You're going to come sit next to your big cousin. You know, unfortunately, you didn't get the opportunity to have me babysit you. It would have been a really good time. How old are you?
I'm 15.
15. Oh, man, you're right at that age.
Yup.
Yeah. What kid are you? You the second oldest?
Yeah, I'm the middle child.
The middle child. What was it like when your dad was in the military, but he couldn't be home all the time? How did you see that?
Honestly, I was fine with it. Like, I remember there was a time, wasn't it like I didn't know who you were when you got home or something, and I was like, who are you? Why are you in my room?
I think that was pretty much every homecoming.
For real?
Yeah.
You didn't even know. So how did you feel when he came on? You felt like he messed up the vibe, or you was happy to have him?
I mean, a little bit. It's hard to get used to when he gets back home, but like after he was gone for like a year, and then he came back, I was like, I kind of missed being like a smaller family, but it's all right.
That's real. This is a very honest family
I
right
told
here.
you we was going to have some breakthroughs here. This is it.
Wow. So how do you remember you guys like bonding once your dad was like back for good? What are some of those memories?
Hey, speak on it.
I have to think. I don't know. Sometimes we just like go around. Oh, and me and my dad, like, we connect on music and stuff. Like,
Oh, okay.
so we have that, and like, I don't know, just like listening to music together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
15, man, that's that age. Like,
Super
it's
cool.
hard- and at the same time, man, it's hard to be understood. You know, I remember 15. Yeah, I remember that age, man. Where are you at with it right now? You feel like you walking the planet alone, or?
I mean, last year was like so awful. It was like definitely my most teenage year, but now like I'm good. I have like my friends, and that's all I need, honestly.
Okay, that's what's
That's
up.
real.
You don't do no drugs or nothing, do you?
No.
Okay, good. There you go. I'm gonna go ahead and ask you. Go ahead and ask you. So y'all bonded on music. Your favorite artist is?
I like Tyler the Creator, and I like BK the Ruler, and I like who else? I like Kendrick Lamar.
Ooh. Yo,
Nice.
come here, dude. Come here. Not you. Come here. You did good, bro. You did good, bro.
Hey, I appreciate it.
I'm
I
the one with
appreciate
the
it.
music
Yeah,
thing.
okay, all right. Well, I'll give you a pound too. All right. Okay, cool. Tracy, I told them how they missed Ice Spice on Friday.
Oh, yes. So how did you get into Ice Spice?
I mean, I don't even like. Honestly, TikTok. That's how everyone knows her. I feel like, but I'm not. I don't know a lot of her music, but I think she's really pretty, and that's what I like.
Okay, cool. You know Munch, though. That's a big song. Everybody know
Yeah.
that one, right?
Yeah. In her mood?
Yeah, I like
Yeah,
her
yeah.
song with Pink Panthers.
Oh, for The Boy's a Liar Part
Yeah.
2.
All right, let's throw that Munch on, see how much you like it, see if you're a real fan.
I don't know the lyrics.
You don't know not one lyric. Throw that on. Let me see. It'll come to you. What's the first
Pretty
lyric?
simple.
You don't know the first lyric to Munch?
I literally don't.
You
I
really
know
don't?
Boys a Liar Part 2.
Oh, okay. She know Boys a Lie Part 2.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, we ain't got that instrumental, do we?
Oh, you was going to hit her
Go
with
with
the
the instrumental?
instrumental?
We got a hyena up in there!
You wildin'.
Okay, you know this one?
I don't want to be put on the spot.
No, come on, let's go. Come on, you with family. It's just us.
I'll do a little bit with you.
Did you ever fool me? Would you ever picture us?
We might have to speed it up.
I pull my hair,
It's coming.
I don't don't even remember how it starts.
She's gonna help you. Tracy gonna help you. You ready? Not yet. Give you time to figure it out.
Wow. We taking our time.
I feel like censoring.
Is it now?
No.
Okay. Is it coming?
Yes.
All right, here we go.
He say that I'm good enough, grabbing my da-da-da. Think about that I shouldn't have. So I tell him it's one of me, he making fun of me. His girl is a bum to me, like that boy is a cap. Saying he home, but I know where he at. Like, but he put on her back. Think about me, cause he know that it's fat. And that's all I know.
How you in the making?
Star in the making right here. I love it, man. Gigi, you a star. We gonna make you go viral. You all right over there, Dad?
Did you just cuss?
I didn't.
I could have swore you just cussed.
I swear, did I? I don't think I did.
We not gonna snitch.
Nah, you didn't.
Okay, good.
I got some ranking still. She cool, dude.
Okay.
All right. Well, that was great. My little cousin got bars.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for being on the show. Chris, man, I want to say I love you and the family is amazing.
Love you too.
Okay, and we're going to be celebrating our grandmother's life and times this week.
Yep.
As we have our ceremony this week. Our services are taking place, so we'll see each other again, and we're going to celebrate Mama Elsie. Right?
Absolutely.
And he was all up in the house.
Thank
Chris,
you, Mommy Elsie,
yes,
for everything.
Speak on it, man.
Yeah, that was my grandmother. Look, there was a lot of time in my life when I was 2 years old. There was a lot of I had another grandmother who just turned 100 the other day. But not everybody was as supportive and accepting and allowing me to ransack their house. Remember we used to put like the pillows on the stairs and just slide down.
Yeah,
that's fun.
Yeah. She was there for me anytime I needed her. The doors was always open. And the part I remember about being at Mommy Elsie's and Stuff's house is that you never know who's going to walk through that door. And every time someone walked through that door, it was a surprise, and everyone's so excited to see them. I'm going to miss that, and I hope we can keep that going.
Well, we the architects now, so we got to keep it going.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's the type of house you're right. Anytime somebody opened the door, so we gotta make sure we continue that tradition.
Absolutely.
All right. Salute to your wife, Rose, the power source, the foundation, the mountain. I don't like Gigi's face right there when I said that. I don't know what that is. Y'all don't know if y'all feuding right now. But salute to Rose because you couldn't do what you did without her doing what she does and keeping the environment in the household where the kids don't have dysfunction, minimal dysfunction when everybody's not present. And so I want to say salute to you. Family member, little cousin, for what you do, and to the other kids as well, Nisa and Kincaid, and Aria. What's up, Aria? Hey. So I want to say thanks for coming through as we conclude this show. Uncle Rod, I love you. And DB, if they want to reach you, how can they reach you?
Everything is at It's Really DB. I'm going to be posting my mix today. The The audio road trip.
Yes.
Is going to be going up today. I just got to find a fire cover for it. But thank you, Tracy, for that title.
That was a good title too. Tracy G, how can they reach you?
Yo, citizens, Twitter, Instagram at It's Tracy GITSTRACYG.
Torch.
Hit me up at Torchington. That's Torch INGTON.
Shout out to Mike Muse, who's on Good Morning America 3 right now.
Yeah.
I am Mike Muse. Chris, thank you for coming through, man. I know you're a very secretive guy. We're not going to give out our social medias and all that stuff.
Private.
Okay, all right. Don't even worry about it. I mean, it's private. I'm sorry. Secretive and private are two different things. Secretive implies something else. I'm at Real Sway across the board. We got a lot of, I can't name them all, but we got a lot of interviews on Sway's Universe. The latest one I think that's been getting a lot of traction is Tyrese's interview where he speaks his truth. So make sure y'all go check that out and all the other interviews we have on Sway's Universe. We'll be back tomorrow, God willing. In the meantime, stay on the right side of positivity. Thank you, family. Give my family a round of applause. Hey! And on that note, we have nothing left to say.